We're working on several things here with Toto and Gus. We're working on recall. You need the dog to come when it's called. They don't learn this on their own. You have to go over this, and dogs learn by repetition. There's a lot of muscle memory. Now we're also incorporating a whistle commands. So we're teaching the dog a whistle sit, a whistle stop, and here is toot toot toot. Sit is one blast, and a whistle stop is a rolling whistle.
Sit.
Your dog, you can teach any dog to do this, and there's an advantage to this, and that is that it sends a lot of pressure wave to the dog. So if the dog's at a great distance, it sounds like you're standing right next to him. If you're standing right next to the dog, you're sort of yelling at him, sit. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'll use that in training a lot of times, like with a real hard-headed dog. Full disclosure, Katya, this is her first time using a whistle. She's never used one before, and she's using one that looks sort of like a little horn. And that increases, it's for distance, it increases the pressure wave. We have a friend who does dog training in Alabama, and Toxic, she uses one of these, she prefers it. There's an advantage to it. Katya's voice sounds a lot like Pam Beasley's. It's very sort of like pleasant and not real loud. So for her to use a whistle is great. Now, this is her first time using the whistle, and she finds that using it, it does hurt her ears. That could definitely be true. I'm 57, my ears are shot. I've shot a lot of shotguns, and so I don't really have that issue. So she's not blowing it real loud. But on the next time, when we come back out with Gus, she has earplugs in, and she's blowing it a lot louder. And you'll see that Gus is very responsive. I'm not saying that Toto's not being responsive. Toto is. But it's helpful. It's helpful if you blow it loud. Now, Toto here, we're just going back and forth, calling the dog. You know, I'll call the dog to me. Katya will call the dog to her. And we're going over this, and at a point we do start using the whistle. And we also start incorporating a whistle stop. So when the dog is going to sit, we say sit and blow the whistle, 1, 2. When we have the dog coming to us, it's here, toot, toot, toot. And then it can just end up being the whistle. But that's how you habituate the dog to the whistle. You just start using it. You say the command and then use the whistle. And that's exactly what we're both doing. Now, any dog can learn this. Now, we're doing it in particular, Toto. Toto's going to learn a lot of advanced stuff. So this will be very helpful for Toto as she's working in a field at a distance. We can get her to be compliant. If we're going to have her cast or do whatever, she needs to know this. So say I throw a retrieve. I throw 2 different retrieves. I want her to go to one towards the left, but she goes to one towards the right. I can stop her with a whistle. It's a very beneficial tool. It is. And we're giving the dog one more language. We're teaching the dog one more language. It's going to be helpful. It's going to make this dog smarter. Going over the here command with the dog, teaching the dog a better recall is so important. Now, see what I'm doing here? This is where it starts. I'm teaching her a whistle stop. I'm imposing. I step out. I say, I use the whistle and I'm saying, no, sit. I need her to sit. Do you understand? No, sit. Blow the whistle like a real long whistle. Now with Toto, I can do this every other one because it's Toto. But with Gus, I wait 2. Like I'll have Gus come to me twice, and then I'll do it. If you do it every one, the dog just starts assuming they know what you want, and they'll just meander out like they're ready to sit. Do Do you see what I'm saying? I want the dog to haul ass. When they hear the whistle, I want them to stop. That's it. But if you want good recall with your dog, this is how you do it. You teach the dog by getting at a distance and calling the dog to you. I could do this. We could do this just one person. You put the dog at sit and walk off at a distance and call the dog to you. But if you have two people, you can do it this way too. It's also beneficial because the dog's learning that if the dog's working with me or Katya, it doesn't matter, who you listen to both of us. That I'm not saying that a stranger could jump in here, because the stranger's not going to know the language we've taught the dog. The dog isn't going to listen to the stranger, okay? But this is helpful. It's making this dog smarter. It's making the dog more confident. This is an awesome little dog. She's gonna pick this up great. Seriously, she's gonna pick this up great, just as good as Gus is gonna pick this up, and they're gonna love it. They love field work. Dogs love doing this. If you have a dog, you have to work that. Look at her. She's looking at me. Is she gonna blow that whistle and tell me to sit? Now, one thing that I don't do with her that I do with Gus is when you're watching, when Gus comes out, see, she's picking this up real good. Now, she's not sitting. I want her to sit. I don't want her to whoa. I want her to sit. But she stopped. Do you see my body language when I'm doing this? I'm real imposing. And when she goes out towards the side, I'm walking out there. I'm walking out towards the side. You're not going to sneak around me. I want you to sit, dog. That's all. She's going to watch this. See? She's reading my body language. I'm telling her to sit. I'm getting a slight refusal. No big deal. She's just learning this. She's doing great. Both dogs are going to love this. They really are. They're going to love this. Dogs love doing field work. You have to work the dog. You have to. This is a very positive way to work a dog because she's doing sprints. Dogs are sprinters. They're not long distance runners. See how she gets a few seconds to rest? By the way, we don't work Gus at this distance. We work Gus at a shorter distance. You're talking about two different dogs. Each dog is, Gus is a big doofus. He starts gaining speed, that's when he screws up. That's just a fact. So we build Gus up differently than we build Toto up. See, she started to pick this up though. Notice how I'm walking in. Notice my body language. I'm saying sit. I need her to sit. But like I was saying, like with Gus, I try something with him, which Toto will do tomorrow, which is I sort of get Toto, like I could throw a retrieve, and then what I'm going to want each dog to do is stop when I blow the whistle, turn around and look at me, and then I'll send them back. I'll backcast them for the retrieve. But they have to learn this before they can do that. But I do try it with Gus to see, like I sort of like indicate to Gus, yeah, go ahead and go, but I didn't really give you the command, something like that, just to see if he'll take off. And he does, and I stopped him with the whistle. It worked out great. So we'll do that with Toto tomorrow too. We might even try throwing retrieves, see if they'll stop for the retrieve. You have to work the dog. You have to, if your dog just knows sit, don't give me this BS. Don't give me this BS. That's not going to be positive for your dog. You have to work them. That friend of ours that uses the whistle that Katya is using, Toxic, she gets it. She's in Alabama, and she works like a dog, not like Toto, but she works like non-traditional hunting dogs, but she's doing field work with them. She gets it. Toxic understands. If you're a chick and you want to teach, if you have like a voice like Katya or Toxic, you're a chick, you butch it up by using a whistle. If you really want to butch it up, you can use the whistle that like Katya and Toxic are using. You could buy them on, like gun dog sites. It's like for distance. As far as whistles go, I'll use a Fox 42. But I prefer a whistle with a P. I don't know, the P-less whistle is fine, but don't go to Walmart and buy some kind of whistle or the dime store or something and think that you're going to have anything that's going to be effective. You have to blow real hard. That's not what you want. And don't use those whistles, the silent whistles. Those are bullshit. I don't like them. I don't know. You want to do that, that's your own business. I'm just saying what I use and what I found effective, what my father used, what everybody that we hunted with used. Nobody used a silent whistle. Use a whistle you can hear. All right? Use a hunting dog whistle.
Toto, here.
Now, watch how Toto's hauling ass, man. She's totally into this. We're working the dog, and the dog is also learning. This is a totally positive experience. This is so much more positive than like, oh, you take the dog to the dog run. Oh, that's a good way to screw up your dog, by the way. You want to exhaust your dog, you work them like this for 15 minutes. It's equal to like taking your dog to the dog run for an hour or something. I'm telling you, the dog's using its mind here. That's what you want. You want the dog to use its mind. You can't tire out the dog. They can walk all day. That is a literal fact. They will walk you. They can't run as fast as a human being, but they can walk faster than a human being. They can do it all day on an empty stomach. And we're doing the same thing with Gus. I'm just calling him to heel. See, he's sort of impudent. But wait till you see by the end of this video. Wait till you see he really starts responding. He's getting it. He really starts getting it. Notice Katya is using a slap crop. She's using it and slapping her leg. No heel. You can do that. There's no reason that you can't. I'm just telling. I'm using a healing stick with him. It's like a pointer. I slap my leg with it too. You can bounce it off the dog. See how she just bounced it off his chest? He's not hitting the dog. Notice his tail. He's a big dude. See, he's sniffing. He's sniffing. He's sniffing for Toto. Toto's in heat. It's a huge distraction. It doesn't matter. He needs to be compliant. He needs to be fucking compliant. Look at his big dopey gait. This is a typical Labrador. It reminds me of every lab I've ever known. It's a great breed, but you got to work these dogs. You got to work these dogs. You should work them daily. Do some retrieves with them or something. You should be able to find 15 minutes a day to work the dog. If you can't find 15 minutes a day, if you're just gonna walk the dog, give me a break. These dogs need to do something. I'm not saying that walking the dog, if you're walking the dog at heel, okay, fine, but the dog has to stay at heel. If you're walking the dog and it's not at heel, you are sending the incorrect message. This dog, you know, having a kid walk this dog? Are you kidding me? I'm not saying a kid couldn't walk this dog. I walked labs when I was, you know, in first grade. But that was my father giving me instruction. Do you understand? It wasn't just, and it was when the dog was finished. It wasn't like my dad said, oh, here, take the 4-month-old lab out and walk it for me. That's just nonsense. It's nonsense. Could this dog be walked by a kid? Yeah, in a little bit, sure. If the adults are walking it at heel and then they start supervising. Not yet, though, man. I'm telling you, labs finish out, like hunting labs. This dog won't finish out until he's a couple years old, something like that. By the way, you got a lab or a golden? You wouldn't leave a year-old lab out of a crate. They'll chew your house up. They will destroy your furniture, and if they do, it's your fault, so don't be mad at the dog. That's a fact. You can't monitor a lab. If you can't watch the lab, you put it in a crate. You put it in a crate. It's not jail, it's a dog. It's a dog. You don't get it. That's his like little safe spot. Well, okay, now we're gonna start. See how he didn't do it real good, but I got him to stop? Now remember that. He didn't do it real good, but watch him by the end of this. Watch him by the end of this. He picks this up like every lab. He's doing this exactly like every lab I've ever known. He's a big dingus. Look at him. I love the breed. They're cute. They're adorable. They're a sort of like a notice she's trying to hook leg him, trying to get him back, and he's a big lab. He's just like, see, he's a big male lab. He's not gonna do it. She's even like trying to like push him back. He's not gonna do it. Watch what she does. Watch what she does. She steps backwards and makes him come to her. Do you see? Like, if the dog isn't at heel, don't ever walk up to the dog. You can walk backwards and say no heel. That's totally appropriate, but don't ever, if the dog's not at heel, you walk so that the dog's at heel. Make the dog come to you. Always make the dog come to you. Now I'm stepping back a little bit. See how he's hauling ass? He loves this shit. Like I said, this could just be me. I could just be putting him at sit, walking off in a distance and calling him to me. The owner could do this in a park. No problem. No problem. But you have to make sure that a big dog like this is compliant. You know, see the size of him. See how he's just sort of like dopey, and he's athletic, so he can gain speed. So in other words, he could knock down a human for sure. He's harmless, meaning like, watch him. See, he picked it up better this time. Look at how he's acting. He's like, oh, I get it. He sort of gets it now. He's into it. But labs aren't known to be biters, but boy, I'll tell you what, like they can slam into your leg. They can knock down kids, stuff like that. They're big dumb doofuses. Look at him. What a goon. What a goon. He's a goon. I love labs. I grew up with these dogs. I love them. I've had several retrievers. I've had 2 Chesapeake Bays. I've had 2 Labradors. So he's picking it up. Look at him. And I'm like, I'm telling him, like, good boy. That's a good job, dude. He loves this. Now he even really starts picking up really at that. Look at how he is responding with Katya. Katya has the earplugs in, and she's using the whistle that Toxic uses, our friend Toxic. And see, it's like a little horn. So it's real loud, and look at the way that the dog is responding to her. Nobody says you can't use a whistle. You having problems with your dog? Try something. Don't just say, all dogs can learn this. All dogs, any age dog can learn. 1. You have an 8-year-old dog, it can learn. 10-year-old dog, it can learn. You can buy a slap crop, you know. It makes it look like you have a longer arm. Look at how he's picking this up. See, I had to step out a little bit less for him than Toter's. He's really getting this. Both these dogs are picking this up. Now I think coming up here soon, I'm gonna like kind of coax him into like leaving my side and then try and stop him as he's going towards Katya. So look out for that, because he does stop. And that's what we want. We want to be able to throw a retrieve, 2 retrieves, stop him, and then cast him to a particular retrieve. I want him to stop. I want the dogs to stop, turn around, and look at me for direction. And will they do it? You betcha they'll do it. They'll do it real soon. I don't know what I'm talking about with Katya. I could be talking about, like, yeah, I'm going to try something with him. I think that's what I might be saying. So maybe I don't try it this time, but I try it next time or something. We'll see. But that's what I do. I sort of indicate with him that he can leave, and then I stop him with the whistle. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's coming up here real soon. Okay, I stop him there. He's coming toward. See how soon he's stopping? He's sitting his ass on the ground. One other thing is, I know that I've worked with him with the whistle before. Maybe a little bit more than I've worked with Toto. Like 1 session. So they start picking up on it real quick. So I think this next time I sort of coax him into screwing up, right? And I stop him with the whistle. Let's see. And he does do it. Let's watch. Watch what I do. Watch this. Not this time, maybe next time. But it's coming up. I think I'm going to call him to my side. No. Sit. See how quick he's sitting? See, he's really picking this up quick. The labs, it's weird. Like, they just start sitting on a dime when you blow the whistle. Let's see. Maybe the next time we're going to do this. Hang on. I've been talking about this. See, I'll call him to my side. And let's see if he'll do it.
No.
I think I just did it. I think that was it. Maybe I try it again. I don't know. But I do know this, that Gus is doing great. Train your dog to do a whistle stop. Train your dog, at the very least, to stop while it's moving and sit. If your dog could do that, you'd be ahead of the game. Say you're someplace and the dog starts running, you can scream, "No, sit," and the dog will sit. Like, it should be able to be running and you'd be able to stop it. That's what we're training this dog to do. We're training the dog to come to us, and if the dog's hauling ass, if it's hauling ass, it doesn't. I just stopped him.
Sit. That's right. Good.
Good boy. If the dog's hauling ass, it should still be able to stop. It doesn't matter how excited the dog is. You push the dog past that point of excitement, and if you push the dog past that point of excitement, you have a healthy, happy dog that's safe. It's a safety issue. And remember, your dog that is running around, that doesn't listen to you, that isn't a happy dog. That's excitement. That's just excitement. I'm not saying that the dog can't be happy that's excited, but I'm telling you, the dog that's excited does not listen. So you have to train them in that realm of excitement so that they listen, and that's exactly what we're doing. Within a week, less than a week, we'll be able to throw a retrieve, send the dog on the retrieve, blow the whistle, have the dog turn around and look at us, and then back cast the dog to the retrieve. Absolutely. Both these dogs will do it. I don't know. Maybe they'll do it tomorrow. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. It's fun working with both of them. Nothing's stopping you from doing this. You have problems with your dog, get your dog out there and train the dog. You can use a whistle. You could get yourself a slap crop that makes your arm look longer. Look at how Katya's using that. She's slapping her leg with it. And if she's using it with the dog, she's not hurting the dog, clearly. Train your dog. Yeah, he loves it. He loves it. He'll love the whistle commands, and then he'll figure out casting. Well, it depends how long he's going to be here.